You're in for a treat today. We're doing a vegan dish. It's going to be a chickpea and butternut squash curry. So you know when it's cold, wet, horrible outside, aka the British summer, and you wanted something comforting, quick, really good to freeze, so it's great for meal prepping. This is the dish for you. Let's go. There's a few things you'll need. Obviously, some good quality chickpeas. I love this brand. I'm a big fan of them. Think they taste delicious. I could eat them straight out of the jar. I want to bulk out this curry, so I found a butternut squash that needed using up. And then there's a few spices, ingredients. You can just get a pre-made pack of spices. Like this is the one that I've sort of scoured from our spice cupboards, my mum's favourite. It's a good little blend here. But we're going to make our own today, and I'm going to show you how. The main base of the curry will be diced onion, grated ginger and garlic. And then we've got a couple of whole spices. We're going to use some fresh curry leaves, some black mustard seeds and whole cumin. This goes really nicely with butternut squash, sort of balances out that spice flavour. Now this is an interesting new ingredient that I'm using today, Amchoor. This is dried mango powder. It will add a really nice citrusy sourness note that goes really well with the chickpeas. And a blend of my own spice mix. We've got Kashmiri chilli, turmeric, ground coriander, ground cumin, and cinnamon. So I toasted those seeds and blended them all up. But alternatively, you can just use your own, like buy a spice mix like this. So let's take off the ends. We're going to dice this. It's one of those one-pot dishes, which I love doing because there's less washing up to do, and you could just serve it straight from the pot. Perfect. Less fuss. More time to enjoy your food. How did you guys like the Master Sauces videos? Did you enjoy them? Did you learn something from them? Even better, did you get to try them? Leave me a comment in below. Is there a particular lesson you'd like to learn? More than happy to cover. Had a pretty good student. Right. So we've got plenty of diced onion. Everything else is prepped. Let's get cooking. What you're going to need is one nice pot. I'm going to use my cast iron. All right, you can use mustard oil, but I'm going to use some rapeseed oil. I'm going to put a good amount in there, and we're going to fry off the whole spices first. So I'm going to heat that up, but don't use olive oil. It's not needed here. Black mustard seeds go in. And we're just going to fry those until you hear them pop. Quite literally, like so. I'll turn that down a touch because I want them to fry, release all the flavour and aromats, but also stay in the pan. It's like popcorn. Right, whole cumin seeds are going in. And again, you're just frying them so that you release their flavour without burning them though. It's very important that you haven't got it on too high, that you're just scorching and burning this flavour, the spices. I'm going to strip the curry leaves and they're going to go in. Oh, smells amazing already. Hey, I don't like things going in my face. Normally get a warning before that happens. Sorry, children. Oi. Okay, next up, we're going to add in our diced onion. And I think one key thing that I took away learning about making curries is that you take your time when you fry your onions. You don't want them to fry too fast. You want them nice and soft. So I'm going to make sure we're keeping these a little bit extra time than you would. Don't rush it. Just don't rush frying your onions. So we're just going to dice up the butternut squash. Again, keep this moving. So you're aiming for the onions to become golden brown. And I got this on a sort of medium to low heat at the moment. Scoop out these seeds. This butternut squash is a little old. It's a little bit on the drier side, so it might take a little bit extra cooking. Best when you use whole spices and your own blends of spice mixes, because you get the real aromas and flavours, like fresh aromas coming out. Like, spices are always at their best when you fry them fresh and you give them that time to permeate into the base of the curry. And it's like more care and effort you take in the start or something, the result's going to be better, isn't it? You can use a peeler for peeling the butternut squash, but I'm in a little rush. Might actually add a little bit more oil in there, just so I can... Instead of oil, you could actually use ghee. So remember from last week we made clarified butter. So ghee is used a lot in Indian cooking, and that'd be perfect for cooking these curry in. But this is a vegan dish, so still gonna be delicious. Like, it smells so good. I haven't had a curry in so long. Really wanted to make like a lamb curry today, a mutton curry today, but the guy's till wasn't working, so we couldn't buy any, which real shame. Same time, this chickpea curry is so affordable. The kids love it. You just don't add as much chilli as I would if you're cooking for children. See how the colour of the onion is slightly turning now? So we're nearly there. Getting efficient. Right, next up I'm going to add in the ginger garlic paste. So that's grated ginger and garlic. Give it a good stir in. Right, now we're going to go in with the spices. You want to coat every bit of the onions with this spices. Give it a few minutes just to really release the aromats. See that turmeric there is changing the colour of the onions. And now we're going to add in the butternut squash. That'll be the chilies getting toasted. So make sure everything is really well coated. We're going to add in a good pinch of salt. Okay. Next, a good squeeze of tomato puree. I'm going to make sure that's really mixed into the base. Cook it a little bit. Then I'm going to add in some tinned tomatoes. I'm going to fill this up with water just so you get all of that tomato flavour in there. And really give it a good mix so that it's all, you're flavouring the tomatoes, everything, you're getting it all in there. I love it. One pot dishes are the best. And this is such an affordable dish to do. The butternut squash just adds a bit more bulkiness, creaminess to the dish. But you can leave it out if you'd like. So I'm going to add in that water now. And I'm just going to let that cook a little before I put the chickpeas in, just to help that butternut squash cook a little, soften a little. Bit more salt. And bring that to a gentle simmer and let that cover. Bring that to a gentle simmer and cover it for no more than 10 minutes. You pass me that lemon, please. Thank you. I'm gonna use this at the end when I'm tasting it, just to see if it needs a bit more acidity. But I did add in the dried mango powder, so let's see how that affects the chana masala. Right, let's check on this curry. Oh, bubbly. Just turn that down. And just give it a little poke. Yeah, it's definitely softened up. Oh, I'm keeping my distance. I'll have to there's turmeric in there, so I don't want to get that all over my lovely top. Let's turn that off. Right, next up is the chickpeas are going in. There we go. I don't want actually too much of that stock in there. So then the rest of that goes in. Normally a good old smack helps, but there we go. Now, I love using chickpeas because they are really high in protein, especially if you're on a plant-based diet. Let's give them a stir in. That smells so good. Another one of my favourites is actually having like peaches in here, so you get loads of sweetness. But I think there's plenty of sweetness in this butternut squash, so similar. Right, let's turn this back on. I'm just going to let those chickpeas warm up, so another couple of minutes, and then we'll check the seasoning. Got a really nice consistency in there, so if you want it a bit more gravy, a bit looser, just add in a little bit more water or more of the stock from the chickpea. But if you're using dried chickpeas, just make sure that they are softened overnight in that water. All right, let's check her out. That smells so good. I'm going to check the seasoning. So what I'm looking for is a nice balance in acidity, spiciness, but saltiness as well. I'll just dip my spoon in there. It's really hot. It's pretty bang on. I think you could do with a tiny touch of lemon and sugar. So I'm pretty content with that though. Just a tiny amount. I use brown sugar because I think it has that nicer flavour that will match better with this curry. But you can use white sugar if you've got it handy. So like with most curries, you can just reduce that gravy a little bit more if you want it thicker. So like it's just, you know, just coating all the chickpeas in the butternut squash. Or if you want it nice and loose, you can just serve it just as is. I prefer this sort of curry without coconut cream. I've seen a lot of recipes out there that have coconut milk in there, but I just love the flavour of the tomatoes, the herbs, the spices, without it being overly creamy. Just make sure that the butternut squash is cooked enough. You can have it a little bit, if you want a bit more saucy thick, just give it a little mash up and then it'll break down that butternut squash to more of a mash. I like a little structure in there. So let's dish her up. Obviously this isn't one portion. I just love the freshness of coriander over a curry. It's just my favourite. And there we have it. Chickpea curry with butternut squash. Our lovely vegan curry in a hurry. So how easy was that? I'm going to serve that with some fresh basmati rice, maybe some naan bread. What's your go-to if you're having a curry? And the best thing I love about these type of curries is you can make them in big batches and freeze them. And they also get so much better the next day when all those spices and herbs just permeate into the vegetables. You've got to give this one a go. Recipe will be on the website, auntielizcooks.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, give us a like and subscribe. It really helps. And I hope to see you guys next week. See ya.